Hi, everybody. It's me again. I am back with another video for the DeKalb County Library System. So we are coming up on Chinese New Year in just a few days. So for that reason, I thought we would do some spiral links. You know how I love links. And use some porcelain beads, some enamel beads, because I wanted to do something really pretty and indicative of Chinese culture. So we have these lovely porcelain beads, all different colors. Well, I'm using the yellow ones, and mostly because I don't have anything with yellow in it. So I thought I'd do something different. Oh, it goes with my sweater. So I thought I would do something different. But those of you who get kits, I have several different colors, and this is the year of the rabbit. And the colors for the year of the rabbit are pink, red, and purple. So I have some enamel beads that will be in different colors like that. And then, of course, we have the colors that represent fortune, I think, is green, and then blue is, I can't remember, but look it up. It's very, very interesting. And I thought we would just do something that represented Chinese culture because it's fun, it's pretty. Some of the jewelry I saw is so beautiful and ornate, and I thought we would do something that was kind of ornate, but very simple to make, very easy to make. So we're going to make a spiral link bracelet with well, not porcelain beads. What am I using? Enamel beads. And it's going to be very simple, really repetitive. All you have to do is make your links, wrap your beads, and link everything together. So let's get going. Oh, and I keep saying this because people keep asking. These videos are free. They are done through the DeKalb County Library, and the Friends of the Library and the different groups that sponsor the programs there are the ones that provide the funds that make these videos possible. So if ever you have any questions, feel free to go to my Gmail, my email, and send me a question, comments, feedback, anything that you want to do. But I wanted to make sure that you know that there's no charge for these tutorials. It's all because of the DeKalb County Library System. They want to teach you something new every week in the form of jewelry, and that is what we are doing here. So let's get down to the other camera and let's get to work. So here are the enamel beads that we're going to be working with. And again, I'm using the yellow ones just because, oh, you can't even see the yellow ones because I've never really done anything in that color. And I put this little black mat down because I using the silver wire, it kind of disappears into the mat that I usually use. So I put this little black piece of black fabric down so that you could see better. And I hope that works. So we're going to start with a length of 20 gauge wire, and then we're going to go to here and then finally to here for our length. So we're just starting out with the, you can, it depends on what size you want your links to be. I want mine to end up being about 3/4 to 7/8 of an inch long each. So I'm starting out with 4 inches of wire, and we're going to go to here. We're going to make this little bow, and then from the bow, we're going to spiral the ends and come to there. And those are going to be our links. Now, what you're going to need are round nose pliers, square or flat nose pliers, and cutters, and oops, I was knocked something over, a ruler to measure out your wire, jump rings and a clasp. You can use a lobster clasp or any kind of clasp that you'd like, but I'm using a lobster clasp. Very simple. Now, and I did say 20 gauge wire. And the suggestion that I would have with your wire is to just keep it all in one long length. It takes about 3.5 to 4 inches for the ones that I'm doing. But if you want smaller lengths, you need less wire. If you want larger lengths, you need longer lengths, you need more wire. So I would suggest leaving your wire in one long length, and then you can make it the size that you want and cut off what you don't need and go on to the next one without a lot of waste. That's what works for me, I think. This is a leftover piece from where I started making these. So this is about 5.5 inches. Which is longer than you need. This is more of the size that you need. But I wanted to go ahead and use this so that I don't waste it. So the first thing that you're going to do is take your round nose pliers. You want, for the ones that I want, I'm going to give myself 1 inch of wire. And I'm going to go this way because it's easier. So I want 1 inch of wire, 1 inch of a tail of wire here. So here's my tail. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to grasp the wire. And I'm going to go all the way back to the back of my wire because I want a fairly, not a large loop, but I want it to be this size. So I'm going to go back almost to the back of my pliers with my wire. I'm going to bring the long tail of wire around the pliers and behind the short tail. So I've got 1 inch of wire here, got my pliers here. I'm going to take my wire, my long tail of wire, bring it around the pliers and back behind my short tail of wire, just like that. And you can see it's about the same size as the one I've already made. And then the other one needs to go in the opposite direction. So one's going to go this way and the other one's going to go this way, the other one's going to go that way. So what I need to do is put my pliers in between the two pieces of wire, like so. Almost to the back, just like I did the other one. And I have just a little bit of space here in between my pliers and where the wires cross over. Just a little bit of space, maybe 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to bring the wire around, this time around the pliers in front of me and in front of the wire, because I want these tails to be on the same side. So I'm going to bring the wire around and in front of the other wire, like so. So now I have my little bow. And then adjust it. I have this little bow here. Okay. And you can see one is much longer than the other because this is the leftover amount. And like I said, I had about 5.5 inches here. So I'm obviously going to be cutting some off. You only need about 4. So I'm going to cut this side off to the same length as this. So I'm going to just go to the end here and measure, and it's about 1 inch and 3/8. So I'm going to go to the other side, measure 1 inch and 3/8. and snip it off. I like to measure twice, cut once. And sometimes it's a good idea to cut a little big, and then that way you can cut it down if you need to. This looks pretty good. Maybe a smidge longer. A little bit longer and just cut off what I don't need. This little tail, I don't want it to go flying across the room, so I'm going to put it down in this little container. Snip, and the little end goes down in there and doesn't disappear from my sight. Now, all I need to do is spiral it. So I'm going to grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, like so. And I'm going to start making a loop. You just want a small loop. When I can't go any further comfortably, I reposition my pliers. Okay, and keep making my loop. I don't want this loop to be too big. And just keep spiraling until I get it the way I want. And this little center loop is a little bigger than I want. So I think I'm going to take my clippers and just clip off the end a little bit. So it's a little neater and a little more round. I'm going to go in there and make it a little smaller. There we go. I'm going to push that back a little closer to the other wires. Just make my spiral look the way I want it to look. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the other side and spiral that. Grab my round nose pliers again at the very tip. And start my spiral. Start by making a loop. Close it up a little bit. Want my loop to be a little tiny bit smaller. And you can also use your flat pliers once you get it to the point where it's already looped. If you want to go use the flat pliers on the side instead of trying to do it inside the loop with the round pliers, you can do that as well. So I'm just making a spiral. And then once I have my spiral done, Here we go. And there's my link. Yeah, this is very free form. Nice. Let's make one more, and then I have a bunch of them already made, but let's go ahead and make another one. Let me see, this is, yeah, 4.5 inches. Very nice. Go ahead and give myself an inch of wire on the end. Let's see if I'm a little closer to the amount that I want so I don't have to cut as much off. So here's my inch. Grab my round nose pliers. Slide my wire down to the back of my pliers. Now I have to be careful because I don't want to hit this back part that's squared off. One time I did it and I ended up with a square loop, which wasn't so pretty. One of these days I'll try that. I'll try to do that on purpose and see what it looks like. But today I want mine a little more rounded. All right, so I've got my wire in there. There's my inch. Bring my long tail around the pliers and behind my loop, like so. See, look, I got a bend. I don't want that bend in there. Go away, go away, go away. Let me get it out with my square pliers. If you end up with something like that, you would think you'd get it out with the round pliers, but you don't. You get it out with square ones because I don't want that little bend in there. So I'm going to go in with my square pliers. And flatten it out. How's that? Is that better? That's better. There. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now let's go to the other side and do the other loop. So I want to go in between. Oh, let me check. This looks a little big, and it is. So let's adjust my loop a little bit. It's about the same size as the other one that I just made. Okay. Now I'm going to take my pliers and slide it in between the wire. Slide the wire down near the back. Again, leave about 1/8 of an inch in between the pliers and where the little V meets, where the wires meet, and that little V there. And now one needs to go this way and the other one needs to go that way. So I have one wire, as you can see, going this way and one wire that's going that way. Oh, I have to turn it around. Let's see, why doesn't it look right? And we want both of our wires to be on top. So this one is going around, whoop, that way. This one is going to go around that way. So I slide my pliers in the V there. My wire goes almost to the back of my pliers, just like I did on the first one. Then I'm going to bring the tail, long tail of my wire around. And it's going to go in front of my short tail of my first tail of wire. I'm going to bring it around. And in front of the other wire. Now I can see that this is a little bit smaller. So all I need to do is pull this one. Make this one a little smaller to match it. So I have my little ribbon. Make whatever adjustments I need to make. There's my little ribbon. And see, I still have a little bit left with that 4.5 inches of wire, because it only takes between 3.5 and 4 to make the size that I have, which is approximately 7/8 of an inch, which is just absolutely perfect. So now I want to cut this off to the same size as this one. So from loop to end, it's about to here. The other side. Okay. So right about there. I'm going to cut it a little longer in case it's not the exact same, and I can cut it down. Yeah. Snip that off, get rid of the tail, and let's take another look from the V here. I'm going there. So the little V, I have to snip off about 1/8 of an inch, not even that much, about 1/16 of an inch. I have my little cut. Snip that off. Take another look here. Still think this is a little longer. Yeah, smidgen, just a smidgen longer. And again, this is freeform, so it doesn't have to be absolutely exact, but I like to make it as close as I can. Okay, now it's time to spiral. And we're spiraling towards the X part. We're spiraling towards the center, not away from it. So I'm going to grab my pliers. Grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers. This is the challenging part because it doesn't like to try and grip that end. So I kind of choke up on it as close as I can get and make my first little turn, and then I move away. It's easier than trying to be way back here and try to make the spiral, the turns, because you have a little more control if you're closer up. Okay. And another thing I like to do is I'll turn with both hands. So I'm turning with my plier hand and I'm turning with the hand that's holding the wire, because it gives me a little more control over how round it is. Make this a little smaller. I have a little sharp bend there that I don't want to see. I'm going to go in with my pliers and I'm going to take that bend out with my square pliers. Straighten that out. And continue. Spiral. All right, come on, cooperate. Okay. And spiral in. And then once I get to the, oops, look, I put another bend in it. I don't like that. Come on. Cooperate. The good part is, the more I work with it, the stronger it gets. You don't want to overwork it though. So. All right, let's go. Let's go. Third time's the charm. And then again, you can grab your pliers and work off the side instead of inside the loop if it's easier. So these wires together a little closer and continue to wrap. Okay, let's go to the other side and spiral that one. So I'm grabbing my tip with the tip. Make my loop. Let's make this a little smaller. Okay. And continue to spiral. Nice and easy. And make some adjustments on both sides until they look the way I want them to. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and do these others over here. Go ahead and do my spirals. I don't think I'm going to need too many of these because it's a bracelet. If it was a necklace, I would need a bunch of them. But because it's a bracelet, it only has to cover 7.5 inches in between that and my beads. It's not going to require too many of them. But these are fun to make. It's just really fun to do a different type of link, and I love doing links. Okay. Raise it up a little bit. Make it a little smaller. A little tighter. And let's do the other one. Okay. Nice. Very nice, very nice. I have another one, but I don't think I'm going to. I've made so many of these. I don't think I'm going to need them all because I only need 7.5 inches. And I still need to do my beads, but aren't those pretty? I love them. Yay, yay. I have another one just in case, but I don't think I'm going to need it. So let's go ahead. I was going to just do a simple loop on these beads, but I decided to go ahead and wrap them. Why not? So I'm going to take 20 gauge wire. And one of the ways that I determine how much wire I need is to slide my bead on. And because I'm doing a wrapped loop, I like to give myself a good 1.5 inches on each side in order to have enough for my loop and the wrap. And that's probably going to be a little too much, but that's okay. So let's just snip that off. Let me see how much I have here. So that would be about 3.5 inches. Turn my ruler the right way. 1.5 inches, about 3.25 inches is all I need. Yeah. So let's snip that off. Get off of there. And then I can slide my bead in the center. So that's where my bead's going to go. And once I have that, I can take it off and bend my wire back in order to make my first loop. And it doesn't have to be too big. We're going to be using jump rings to attach everything. I've bent my wire back at about a right angle, and I'm going to go ahead and slide my wire down about 1/3 of the way down. My pliers is about as big as I want that loop to be. So I'm going to take the short tail of wire here, and I'm going to bring it over the top of my pliers and down the side until it's vertical like the long edge. I don't want to go any further than that, because if you try to make the full loop without rotating your pliers, you'll end up with a big bend in your wire. So I stop when my wire is vertical alongside the long wire, and then without moving my wire, I open up my pliers, rotate them back, lightly clamp back down, and then I bring that short tail around and under my pliers like so. So now I have a loop. Boop. And I can go ahead and wrap my loop. Go ahead and close it up. And I just need 2 reps. Once I have my 2 wraps, I can snip that off. Snip off that little end. See how much I had left? Way too much. That's okay. That's okay. A little bit of waste doesn't kill anything. And I can push down the little end there so that it's nice and close against the rest of the wire and not sticking out so that it can scratch you. I'm going to put my bead on. Bend the wire back on the other side. Now, the reason I bend the wire back is because if I start my loop on the side, it ends up on the top, right in the center, like this. If you start the loop on the top, it ends up on the side. So I go ahead and I bend the wire back, and I want the loops to go in the same direction. So I bend the wire back the same way that the other loop is going. Grab my round nose pliers, slide my wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers, just like I did on the other side. Bring the wire over and down the side until it's vertical along with the bead. Open up my pliers, rotate back, lightly clamp back down, and bring the wire all the way under my pliers until I have a loop. Flatten that out a little bit. There we go. Flatten that. Good. And now I can wrap. Now I showed you how to wrap it with the pliers inside. You can wrap it that way. You can also take your square pliers and hold on to the face, flat part of the loop, and wrap that way. Whichever way is more comfortable for you is just fine. And I just need 2 wraps. And then I can clip off that tail. So I ended up with approximately, I would say at least 1 1.25 inches that I didn't use. Where's that end? There it is. And I'm going to push that down nice and close against the other rings so it's not sticking up and ready to stick me. Okay, now we want our rings to be going the same direction, and it's almost the same. Bring it down a little closer. There, it's almost the same. One's a little off. So what I'm going to do is grab one of the rings with 1 pair of pliers and the other one with the other pair of pliers. See how it's slightly off? And I'm just going to twist until they're both laying the same direction. So now they're nice, very nice. And let's do one more. This time I'm going to knock it down to 3 inches instead of 3.5. I gave myself 3.5, and I ended up with a lot of excess that I don't want to deal with. Again, because I hate waste. Hate it. Okay, click that off. Slide my bead on, see where my center is, and I'm just going to eyeball it. You can measure if you want. I'm just going to eyeball. And notice how I don't bother to straighten the wire out. Why? Because I'm going to wrap it. There's no point in straightening it, and I'm just going to wrap it up anyway. Okay, so there's about my halfway point. Then back, grab my round nose pliers, slide my wire down around 1/3 of the way down my pliers, bring that short tail over, hold still, over the pliers and down the side until it's hanging vertical. Leave the wire where it is, open the pliers up, rotate back and clamp back down, and bring the wire under the pliers and off to the side until I have a nice loop. And now I can wrap. And I just need 2 nice wraps. Now, one of the reasons I like holding the side instead of trying to do it inside is because I find it makes it a little neater. But I'll show you that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and clip this off. Hold on to that tail, clip that end, get rid of that little piece, and push down that end against the other wires. Let's slide my bead on. My other loop. And the wire back. Okay, slide that wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. Bring it over the top of my pliers and down the side until it won't go any further because of, well, I hope I wasn't off camera. Just occurred to me that I had this down really low. I wasn't watching. I hope I was on camera. Anyway, I can do another one just to make sure. We did one and I think I was on camera, but I can do one more. Okay, so I'm down the side. I can't go any further because of my bead and I don't want to bend it. I want it to be straight. Then I can open up my pliers, rotate back and lightly clamp back down. And now I can bring the wire up between the bead and my pliers. Now, I like to use the pliers and hold on to the front face of my loop in order to wrap because I find that it gives me a little bit more control over the wrapping. My bead's not flipping around. I just got total control. When I'm wrapping, it's nice and easy. Give myself 2 wraps. Is that 2? Yeah. And then clip off the end. And I still had excess with only 3 inches. See, you don't really need that much wire. It's just not necessary. And again, just like with the other one, I would suggest that you leave your wire intact and do all of your wrapping and then cut off when you're finished. I'm going to do one more simply because I think I may have been off camera for that one. So I will give you another tutorial on how to wrap, even though you probably have it. You probably have it, and there's no reason to do it, but I'd rather do too much than too little. That looks like about 3 inches. Okay, slide my bead on. Yeah. Grab right there at my bead, bend back the wire, grab my pliers, slide down 1/3 of the way, lightly clamp down on my wire, bring the pliers over and across and down, bring the wire down until it's vertical, open my pliers, rotate back, and there we go. I'm going to use the side wrapping technique because I just like it better. Wrap that around. Look at all that excess wire that I'm going to be cutting off. Snip off that tail. Away that end there and push my wire down. Nice and snug. Okay, slide on my bead. And the wire back. Have my pliers. Slide my wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. And when I do this, I want to make sure my pliers are under the wire. So here's the long long wire. My pliers are under it, like so. Clamp down. Like that. Bring the tail across and over the pliers and down the side to where the bead is until you can't go any further. And then bring the wire under the pliers, between the pliers and the bead. And there's my loop. I'm going to grab the face of my loop. You can see this is a little bit bigger than that one. So I'm going to close it up a little bit, make it a little smaller. Here we go. Now they're about the same size. Grab the face of my wire with my pliers and wrap twice. Once and twice. Snip that off. Little end there. Didn't have as much left over this time, which makes me very happy. Come on, go away. Push my wire down. Nice, neat, and tidy. Good. Nice. Okay, so I have my beads, I have my links. It's time to put it all together. And I have way too many links here. I'm pretty sure I don't need all of these links, but let's get going. So now all I need to do is link everything together with my jump rings. And I can go ahead and bring out my ruler and kind of measure to see what I need. So I have a link and a bead and a link and a bead, a link, a bead, a link. That's probably all I'm going to need, but just in case, I might need another bead. But I'm going to be using jump rings to put everything together. So let's see where I end up, because I need 7.5 inches, and that would be that. But I also have my clasp, so I don't want to make it too big. So let's go ahead and use our jump rings. So easy way to open jump rings. The person that sold me these jump rings was so nice. They sent me jump rings that were already open. They're already open. I don't have to open them, but I still want to show you how to open them. So I'm going to properly open them. So I'm going to close it up. So now all I need to do, if you notice, these aren't pulled apart. They're twisted. You just go on each side of the opening with your pliers and you just twist them open. You never want to pull them apart and then try to push them back together, because what happens is you create a bend down here at the bottom of your loop and it ruins your loop. So you never want to do that. You just want to twist. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of my links on and then attach another one of my links as well. And close that up. No, wait, I'm attaching a link to a bead. So a link, attach a bead on the jump ring as well, and close. And because I've twisted it, all I really need to do is push them together. And then once I get them together, I can take the pliers and kind of adjust it until they're in perfect position. And perfect position is the ends are together. You want a nice, almost seamless circle, as seamless as you can get with a circle that's broken. But you want those ends nicely together, just like that. Let me bring this down a little closer. Where should I go? Let's see. Let's go over here. There, I think that'll work. Okay, so I've got one jump ring on, and I like to do 2 jump rings just so I have so it's very secure. So I'm going to put another jump ring on the same link and through the same bead. I want to make sure I don't cross up my jump rings. I just want to put it through the link in the bead and keep the jump rings separate. And close it up. Let's do the squeeze first. It's easier. And then adjust. There we go. Nice, neat, and tidy. So there's one link. Let's add another of my spirals on. So grab another jump ring, bead, spiral, and close. And another way is to just hold with one plier and then take your thumb or your finger and just push them together. And if it's too small or the jump rings are really, really strong, you can just go ahead and use the 2-plier method. There we go. Let's grab another jump ring. Slide it on the bead. Get off of there. Okay. Jump ring. Through the bead loop. And my link. And close. Nicely closed. Nice and neat here. Come on. There we go. Yes. And let's add another bead. Okay, let's grab my link. Wait, do I have 2? Yes. Grab my link and my bead. Close it up. Make my adjustments. Have another link, another jump ring. Slide it on my link and back through my bead loop. Close it up. And adjust. Nice. It's coming along very nicely. Okay, let's just keep going until I have all my beads on and all of my links on. See how easy that is? Just make your links, wrap your beads, have your jump rings, and put all your components together. I love easy peasy. And once you finish, you have something really pretty. That's what makes it all worthwhile. And again, these videos are free for you. The library, they just really want you to have a good time and learn all kinds of things, because the library is more than just books these days, as I'm sure you've realized. And so we want you to be able to get different kinds of education, and we want it for people of all ages, adults, children, and everything in between. So the friends groups and the Library Foundation sponsor these programs so that you don't have to pay for them. I think that deserves a big thank you. So you can go to the library Facebook page and give them a thumbs up, give them a big like, or give them a comment. Let them know what it is you like about the programs that they're providing, what you like about this particular program. If you do like it, if you don't like it, I would really love to hear your feedback, because it gives me an idea of how to continue for the future. But this is what we do for you. They're pretty wonderful in that they like to provide everything that they can give for you to enjoy your day, to be creative, and to just have fun. I love it. So if ever you want to get in contact with me, you can contact me at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. You can ask any questions. If I have the answers, I will certainly give them to you. The other thing is that these videos are out there in perpetuity. They're not going anywhere. They will be there. And if you've seen one and lost it somewhere along the line, and you're going, oh no, I really wanted to make that video, and I don't remember when it was out. It was out a month ago or 2 months ago or sometime last year. Those videos are still there. And if you can't find it on the Facebook page, and you should be able to, because again, they are there, you can drop me an email, give me a description of what it looks like, and I will go through. Oh, I forgot to attach the link. And I will be more than happy to send you the link, because we want you to be able to have fun with these. And I know I do these every week, so I know there are a lot of them out there, and it might be hard to go back through all of those videos and find the one you want, especially if you don't know the name of it. If you do know the name of it, you can just look in the search engine and pull it up. You can always go to the search engine and just pull up Jewelry Jen or Jewelry with Jen, and you should be able to pull up all of the videos that I've done. Or, like I said, you can send me an email and tell me what you're looking for, and I will go through, and I'm pretty sure I should be able to find it for you. My pleasure. I'm just chit-chatting away because I know otherwise you just have to sit here and watch me link this bracelet together, and that could be boring. Now I could just go ahead and go off camera and finish this part of it and come back, but I figured This way I could give you a little information while I'm working. So like the Facebook page, go on the website and find out what other events are out there. And there's lots and lots of them. Let's see how much I have so far. I think we're almost there. I don't want it to be too big. I'm going to go ahead and put one more bead on and hope that it's not too big. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Ooh, that was pretty. I just saw it. It was so pretty. Okay, so let's put this one more bead on. I think this is the last thing that I need to put on, with the exception of the lobster clasp. Okay, so put that on there. One more. And I do the double rings. Number one, I think it looks prettier than just linking it together with a single jump ring. This way it looks deliberate. It doesn't look like just something that's functional. I think it makes it look really pretty too. I think it gives it a little bit more cachet. And of course, and the reason that I started doing that was for the sake of security. If for some reason one of your jump rings fails you, you have another one to back it up. So it has a dual purpose. Function and beauty. I like it. Nice and tight. There. Let's see what I have. Oh yeah. Okay. Now all that's left is for me to put on my lobster clasp. Now, this might be a little bit big by the time I get that clasp on there, but I really, yeah, that's going to be a little big. But it is what it is. Might end up taking off one of those. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to take off that, and then I'll have beads on both ends. Let's see if that works. You want to do that? Yeah. I know some people like theirs very, very loose. I'm not one of those. I like mine a little more snug. This is going to go about to there. That's not bad. That's not bad. That'll work just fine. Okay, and if I need to go ahead and take one off, I will. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to attach your lobster clasp. And it's just basically put your jump ring on, right through one of the loops. And I'm putting it through the bead loop, or if you end up with the links on each side, you can just put it through one of the links or one of the beads. And I like to leave a link for my lobster clasp to attach to. That's one of the things I like about this. It's really neat because it's open and I can attach the lobster clasp right to the link. So I've got my jump ring through the bead loop. Add my lobster clasp and close it up. Make my adjustments so that the ends meet perfectly. Nice, neat, and tidy. Nice and closed. Okay, and now my lobster clasp will attach to the link. And there it is. Ooh, that is very, very pretty. What do you think? Oh, I really like it. I really love it. Ah, nice. Okay, let's put it on. Let's put it on my arm and see what I have today. Yay, yay. I keep saying this, but I have people that just swear by these lobster clasps. I'm not as big a fan as they are, but there it is. Oh, isn't that pretty? Nice. Let's back this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. There's my bracelet. And because the lobster clasp attaches right to the link, you can hardly even see that there's a clasp there. I like it. That's pretty. I'm glad I did it in a color that I don't normally use, because I do red and blue and green a lot. This yellow one is different. Okay, there we go. That's our piece. That's our bracelet for today. Yay, yay, yay. And again, if you want to get in touch with me, jewelrygen20@gmail.com. In order to get information about other classes that we have or other jewelry making classes, or get the links, the free links to any other videos that I've made, just drop me a line at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWERLYGIN20@gmail.com. Or you can put a comment on the Facebook page of the library, which is facebook.com/decab library. Simple as that. So until next time, I am so glad you're here. Look up Chinese New Year, Year of the Rabbit, and get some information about what that's all about. It's pretty fascinating. And until next time, have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.